Hello everybody, it's GL Smith with Northwest Vintage Guitars. And I've got a bizarre guitar for you here. But before we get into that, I want to ask you to like, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel here. Leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think. Is this cool stuff? You want to see something else? Say it. Richard Cromwell owned Nashville Musical Instruments Company in the 70s. They were based in Nashville on Broadway, only a couple blocks from George Gruen. In fact, George Gruen remembers Richard and remembers Nashville Musical Instruments. And there's lots on the internet, well, some on the internet about that. Richard was looking to capitalize. He supplied retailers and dealers in the area. So these little mom and pop music stores and what have you in the South, Southeast, he was one of the suppliers. He'd come in and stock the folks. He was a very busy guy, very ambitious, and he wanted to provide a low cost option to all these folks in the Southeast, bluegrassers and whatnot that couldn't afford Martins and whatnot. So he contracted with some Japanese luthiers to make copies of Martins. Now, this wasn't uncommon. There were other companies that did that as well. They would usually contact people who are already making copies of Martins and then have them label them, kind of like a labeling deal. But Richard just did it for his musical company. In fact, he put the name right on the headstock. So it says Nashville Musical Instrument Company. The thing that's so cool about this is that it's a copy of a very rare Martin. It's a D76. It would have been their bicentennial, I believe. And it's got the stars on it. And, it's a D28 with a three-piece back. D35, sure. It's loud. Anyway, these were great. They're all solid wood construction. So you got solid rosewood back and sides. You get a solid spruce top. It's really nice construction. And it says Nashville Musical Instrument Company. Has the eagle crest inlay there. Looks like a Martin, right? Well, Martin thought it looked too much like a Martin, so they sued Richard. As a result, a lion's share of the Nashville Musical Instrument Company guitars that were in inventories in the United States were confiscated and destroyed as a result of that court order. So, finding these in the States, it's a little harder to do. There ain't that many of them. They destroyed a bunch of them, all the ones that were in inventory. That happened in the 70s. So that's a lawsuit story that happened in the States. So if you don't know trademark law, once you go overseas, all the rules change. So it gets a little complicated. So anyway, Richard was out of business by 1980. There was a P.O. box for a forwarding address for, up until just a few years ago. So, they were an ongoing concern, but I thought that was really cool. They were in Nashville on Broadway, and they were supplying all the music stores, and they brought in Martin copies because that's what the people wanted, right? Very cool. And it's a great sounding guitar. It's going to be for sale. I think it might already be for sale. There is a neck repair. Can you see it? No? There's a neck repair. It was cracked on both sides. And it was glued up nice and solid when we got it. But it was a little jagged on the edges. So we leveled it down and did some finish fill. So that's it. NMI, Nashville Musical Instruments, D78, Richard Cromwell on Broadway in Nashville in the 70s. That's it. Check us out at nwvintageguitars.com. Like, share, subscribe, comment. See ya.